Glad to have you with us here on this edition of Ravens Rundown, powered by Chat Sports. I am merely Tyler Jones here as we are talking UDFAs. We have our grades that we'll give out for the Ravens UDFA class. A total of 23 players that either signed full-time UDFA contracts or were invited to rookie minicamp. We'll go over the full list, talk about some players to watch that have the best chance to make the 53-man roster, and more coming up in just a moment. Before we do, folks, we're trying to reach our next milestone. 16.5 thousand subscribers here on the channel, just over 200 away from reaching that next mark. For the latest happenings on your Baltimore Ravens all offseason long, you got to subscribe to the channels. We're talking each and every day with the latest news and rumors. We are also bringing you what's happening in free agency, potential trades, counting down to rookie mini camps, OTAs, training camp, and more. It's all covered in one place. Ravens Rundown. That's it, right here. YouTube.com/RavensTV. Subscribe now for free. Here is the list of UDFAs for your Baltimore Ravens. It starts with Bo Braid, the safety out of Maryland. He's certainly the highlight of this group. Followed by Corey Bullock, an offensive lineman. Meanwhile, we have Darian Dalcourt, a center from Alabama. Also have a defensive lineman from Georgia, Trammell Wather. And Emory Jones, quarterback from Cincinnati, began his career with Florida, finished with the Cincinnati Bearcats. We'll talk more about him coming up later. Chris Collier, running back, checking in, as well as Tayvion Robinson, wide receiver from Kentucky. We'll talk more about him coming up later. Dayton Wade, a wide receiver from Mississippi, while Isaiah Washington, wide receiver from Rutgers, makes the list, as does DeAngelo Hardy, a wide receiver from North Central, also gets a signing. Joe Evans, tight end from Iowa, is the one of just about three tight ends, actually, that got to be a part of the UDFA class. As we also mentioned, Mayan Franklin, defensive lineman from Duke. Trey Colbert, defensive lineman from Maryland. John McCartan, edge rusher from Oregon State. Yvandy Rigby, linebacker from Temple. And the remaining include Deion Jennings, the linebacker from Rutgers. Jordan Tolles, the safety from Morgan University. Ryan Cooper Jr., defensive back from Oregon State. Darrell Simpson, offensive lineman from Tulsa, TULSA. Ty James, wide receiver from Mercer. Riley Sharp, tight end from Oregon State. Mike Riggerman, tight end from Findlay University, a D2 school. And then last, and probably least, if we're going to be honest, Randon Plattner, a long snapper from K-State. So all in all, 23 total players all getting their chance, will all be at rookie minicamp for the Baltimore Ravens. So before I reveal my grade, I want to hear from you guys. What is your grade for the Baltimore Ravens UDFA class? A, B, C, D, or F? Let me know in the comments section what your grade is. I'll give you my grade here in just a second, but I want to hear from you first. A, B, C, D, or F? My grade is B- for Baltimore here. I think that when I look at this class, for the most part, I only really can identify maybe one or two players that have a realistic shot at making the 53-man roster. There were some great players out there that could have, I think, been of use for Baltimore to potentially make the 53 that went elsewhere. Like a guy like Drake Stoops, for example, ended up going to the Los Angeles Rams. He would have been a perfect fit to have in Ravens camp to make the 53-man roster. You look at just some of the other guys that were out there, like Jack Westover, tight end from Washington, could have been very competitive for a roster spot. He ends up at Seahawks camp. So that, for me, is the thing. You missed out on some players that could have potentially made an impact and made the roster. All in all, you did have 6 total players on NFL.com's best undrafted free agent list for 2024 that will get the chance to make the Ravens roster when it's all said and done. Let's talk about 3 players in particular. Let's start with Tayvion Robinson, the wide receiver from Kentucky. And this is a guy that's got excellent balance, smooth hips. He certainly looks the part. He changes tempo when needed. He does have soft hands. Excellent when it comes to ball tracking. Does a good job of finding the football, but he does lack ideal play strength. So that's going to be something that he has to work through of some sorts beyond there. His numbers, not anything spectacular at Kentucky in his career. Last season, caught 41 passes for 552 yards, 13.5 yards of reception for 4 touchdowns. You can see his numbers, he didn't really improve. His highest yardage total in yards per reception was back all the way in 2020. His numbers never got better from what they were in that sense since 2023. So watch out for Tayvion Robinson. He's probably the receiver with the best chance to make it when it's all said and done. Got some Nate Wiggins jerseys on sale now. Chatsports.com/Wiggins, one of the newest members of your Baltimore Ravens. First-round rookie. I think he's got potential to be a star in the National Football League. Might as well get your Nate Wiggins jerseys now. These things are going hot. When we find out his number, these jerseys will include his brand new number that he's going to wear this season. We got the men's, we got the women's, got all sorts of different shapes and sizes. Go see for yourself. Chatsports.com/Wiggins to get yours today. The link is in the comments and description of today's video. Check it out now, chatsports.com/Wiggins. All right, next on the list, Bo Braid, safety from the University of Maryland, staying home. And do we have a good one right here, folks? Tom Downey, our draft expert here at Chat Sports, gave Braid a 4th-round grade. So incredible value that he was still around for the Ravens to get when they did. Plays very active, closes downhill and run support, actively searches for the ball, doesn't have thumping power necessarily, and he's got below average range. But overall, a tremendous find for the Baltimore Ravens to be able to get him under these circumstances. He's UDFA when he should have been a 4th-round pick. His stats last season included 1 interception, 1 forced fumble, 4 tackles for loss. The year prior, 2 forced fumbles, 2 interceptions, and 4 tackles for loss, and 85 tackles. In coverage this past season, gave up about 230 yards and 3 touchdowns, QB rating of 91.2, 6 pass breakups, and 1 interception there. So, what do you guys think? Will Bo Braid make the Ravens 53-man roster when it's all said and done? Let us know what you think. Y for yes, N for no. Is he going to be there or not? Let us know what you think. Last one on this list, I do have to talk about the quarterback. And this is a guy I saw a lot of play at the University of Cincinnati. As a fan of the Big 12 Conference, you guys know I went to Kansas. Saw a lot of this guy. Saw him early in his career when he was at the University of Florida as well. Emory Jones. And Emory Jones is a guy that, if we're going to be honest here, he's a hell of an athlete, but he's never really lived up to his full potential of what he could be, whether it was at Florida or whether it was at Cincinnati. The story of his college career is heck of an athlete that couldn't put it all together necessarily. He's very fast. He sees the field well. He's got good vision. He's got a quick release as well. All of those are good things. Ball placement appears to be his strength, but on the flip side of that, the biggest struggle for Emory Jones in his college career was he sacrificed accuracy way too often, where his priorities weren't necessarily right in going through his reads. And to me, that was a big drawback of why he never kind of put it all together. He did play in several different systems over the years, so you give him the benefit of the doubt in that sense. But all in all, it's kind of a head-scratcher of why Emory Jones wasn't better than what he was, because the talent was there, just never all came together. You can see last season was his lowest completion percentage since 2020, just 61%, 18 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, over 2,200 yards passing there with the Cincinnati Bearcats. So let's ask you before we go, who was your favorite Ravens UDFA signing? Way in the comment section, let us know who it was. I have a feeling most of you are going to say it's Beau Brade, but let me know. If it's someone else, that's fine too. Weigh in the comment section. Let us know what you think. Subscribe now to Ravens Rundown for continuing Ravens off-season coverage as the week continues here on the channel with more stuff ahead, so stay tuned for that. I'm Tyler Jones. Have a great rest of your day. We'll see you next time here on the channel.